And I was so excited when I go live for my episodes. I think it's just a connection that is always really groomed by me through all these episodes. For joining us just in 1 second. I just invited him. Just let him get in. Hey, here you go. Hi, Alvin.
Hi, wait, am
Hi.
I here
So good
right?
to see you. How is your renovation going?
Oh my god, it was quite a mess today, but I think somehow it's okay.
Well, you look wonderful as always, and I see the white background, so I obviously don't see any mess. So, but
What
it's
do I
it's
on the share video thing right now, or do I not?
say it again. I think the people are just joining in. Make sure that your Wi-Fi, that your sound, you're breaking off a little bit.
Oh, okay. Let me come closer. Wait. Is it better?
I think so. Yeah.
Wait, is
Yes.
it? Can you hear me
Yes,
now? Is it better?
yes, I can hear you. It's less
Okay.
muffled, so it's great. So I'll just say a few words about the conversations with Olga. I will do a short introduction for you, and we just jump right into our conversation just as we started here in Singapore, actually a few weeks ago. We'll just continue.
Mm.
Yes, we have so much to say, and we just, really touched on a very vulnerable subjects, and this is what I'm going to touch a little bit on today as well. So, just a few. Welcome everyone. I'm so happy to be on the space as well, and today is actually the episode number 53 of Conversations with Olga. It's begun just as a very quiet experiment, an intimate space to speak with people I've met along the way through my journey. Creatives, founders, visionaries, people who, like me, have worked behind the scenes for years, shaping beauty, culture, and experience. I've had the privilege of being in many extraordinary rooms, actually, but more than these people were or are, I've always been interested in how they got there, the grit, the grace, the becoming. So today I'm speaking to Alvin Goh. I'm speaking with Alvin Goh, I should say, creative director, a celebrity stylist whose work spans red carpets, editorial campaigns, and cinematic transformations. As a creative strategist, he does branding for international brands and personal branding for celebrities and private clients. He's also styled some of the most recognizable names: Michelle Yeoh, Kendall Jenner, Emma Watson, just to name a few. But what's most compelling is how personal his journey has been. From a difficult childhood in Bidok, well, Bidok is a neighborhood in Singapore, in case many of you actually are not from Singapore who are watching us today, so it is a neighborhood in Singapore, to styling Oscar winners. Alvin's story is one of the reinvention, resilience, and learning to claim space where none was given. Welcome, Alvin. I'm so happy that you joined and you found the time. I know how busy you are. We actually, just a bit of a background how we met. We met many, many years ago and reconnected just recently when I was staging the opening red carpet event for the exhibition of Iris van Herpen at the Art Science Museum in Marina Bay Sands. By the way, it's a fabulous exhibition, so please, whoever is in Singapore didn't have a chance to see it, please go and see it. It's absolutely fabulous. We met for a coffee, right? And then ended up talking and sharing our life's journey right here in my home, openly, honestly, and very meaningfully. So, Alvin, you shared so much of yourself through your work, through beauty, transformation, storytelling, but not many people actually know the quieter details. You've done lots of interviews and you're often in the public eye, and I've seen you in action, but what's something most people don't know about you that you wish they would?
I think, uh, first and foremost, thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. Flattered by that. Um, your question, I think most people don't know that I'm actually a very funny person.
That's great.
Yeah, I love love to laugh, but somehow, for some strange reasons, I often come across as someone very, stuck out or arrogant or whatever that is. Yeah, maybe because when I'm working, I do have a very, angry face or a very serious face.
Serious.
So perhaps that's the reason. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll keep this in mind. So I expect you to say plenty of jokes during our
I'm
conversation
a friendly
today.
person. I'm very approachable. It's just that I don't know why, for some strange reasons, my pictures always, you know, come across as very, serious. Yeah.
Well, it's a personality trait, I guess. It's just in and everything's what you've been through life, and this is what I want to start. I want to start right from the beginning,
Mm.
from your early life and becoming. I always believed that people who understand beauty most deeply are often those who've had to seek for this, sometimes just to survive. You've spoken about the painful childhood and how styling became your escape. Can you take us back, please? What did transformation mean to you back then in your early age, when in your childhood?
I would say um, beauty was my escape. Yeah, because I grew up with, in a very bad family background. Pretty much like what you would see in the movies. Um, but through that, I actually found a different world in using beauty as my medium. Yeah. So because I grew up, I was often being bullied. I was bullied by my own family, my relatives, my friends in school. So I don't have many friends growing up. Um, but at the age of 12, I discovered makeup. So that gave me that opened up a new world for me to escape into that world and just be dreaming in the world. Yeah.
That's wonderful. You created your own universe and you follow it through and you partially live in this universe. And I think, as you said, it is an escape. And for some of them, I have also my escape as well and dreams that I try to create. So I think I can relate to the feeling of it and it's wonderful. I've started the tradition of passing the mic. I usually ask this at the end of the episode, but the question is perfect for what we're talking right now about. Our previous guest on Conversations with Olga was my dear friend for episode number 52, Dr. Aisha Khanna, and she asked, "What's one's career mistake you made, and how did you grow from it, and maybe even turn it into a gift?" So, can you share about it? What
Uh,
actually happened in your life that we should consider as a mistake, but that brought you into something absolutely wonderful?
I think I made a lot of career mistakes in my life so far. Um, I think it's a non-stop, learning journey. Um, I think the more probably the biggest one is when I was in Hong Kong. I was in Hong Kong for almost like 18 years. Um, so Hong Kong is a very different culture. You are back then. I would say back then, not now. Not so sure about right now, but back then I was told that when you are of a certain status or popularity, you need to behave in a very stuck up manner.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like the more stuck up you are, the more unreachable you are.
yes,
So that was what my manager back then told me, which I did. And that made me very uncomfortable after a while because I realized that I wasn't being me. And, but, you know, to a certain extent, it gets things done. People do want more of you when you're behaving like that. It's a very strange irony, I would say, but yeah, I think that was one of my biggest mistake, because after a while it kind of got really tiring, because when you're acting you're not being yourself, and then
Exactly. It's
not
all
being
pretense.
yeah, that is the worst thing that anyone can do to yourself, which is not being yourself. So one fine day, I just, took the courage and say, fuck that. Oops, I can't say
That's,
this.
you can say whatever you want. You
It's
know,
like, fuck.
as you know, we are having conversations, so it's totally fine.
Yeah, because like in Hong Kong, you're supposed to dress a certain way, look a certain way, uh, to be on par with your status. So that was it was quite a hassle for me, because I come from Singapore and I live in Bedok, so I'm always in my slippers, my tank top, my shorts, and the kind of thing. So I brought that to Hong Kong when I first went to Hong Kong, and then people will be like, "Are you sure you have done all these things when you look like that?" Yeah. So that was one of my biggest lessons.
That's wonderful. And actually, I wanted to ask you, or I should say, I want to mention and share with you. So I knew you when you were in your 20s, when you were still in
Oh, you mean
Singapore, right?
when I was 19?
And then you moved to Hong
When
Kong at that age with no
I went to
safety net.
Hong Kong around 20, I think mid 20s or late 20s, I can't
Yes,
remember. Yeah.
exactly. All right. Yes, you see, so at that age, and there's no safety net. Actually, that's something that you and me have in common. We spoke about it because when I left the former Soviet Union, me and my mother, it was only me and my mother, and $300. That was it. There was no safety net. So I went through this journey and struggled through it, but it made me the person who I am, just like it made you the person who you are. It takes courage, and kudos to you. So what gave you the strength to make that leap? How did those early uncertain months shape you who you become?
Mm, I was so sick of being sick and tired in Singapore, because I wasn't happy in Singapore. Um, I was in a very very abusive relationship, um, personal relationship and family as well, and I just couldn't breathe. So coming to Hong Kong was like it's like a rebellious act for me at the same time, because I was so sick of that. Because in Singapore, it's supposed to belong to a gang, which I don't. I just do my work and that's it. But because it's such a small, country, you need to take sides, and I don't know how to do that. So that plus, my personal life, I'm not happy. I just thought, you know what, just just live and see how it goes. Yeah.
Yes, and you actually said that even today, when we spoke, that Singapore doesn't feel like a home, that you still use Google Maps, right? Sometimes to get around. So how do you live?
I'm so bad with directions. Basically, anywhere I go, I I don't know how to navigate. I can't even differentiate sometimes left and right. That's how
But
bad I
you know,
am
I'm the
when it comes.
same actually, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. I'm
So
terrible with navigation.
it's, it's not that I don't think Singapore will always be home to me. Um,
Okay.
it's just when I go back, I don't know how to navigate, and things progress so fast in Singapore. So yeah, but then again, I take the Uber in Singapore, so it's
Yeah.
okay. The MRT. I
Traffic.
love taking MRT,
Yeah, I love it. I
train.
also love taking MRT. Actually, I do it very often. Um, by saying that, how do you live with that feeling of disconnection from your birthplace? And has this distance changed the way you see your roots in any way at all? Because you don't come here
the thing,
often from what I, from at all. So
I try to come back more right now because
okay.
in the past 2 weeks I try to come back more. I think you're lagging by the way, you're like stuck there. Can you see me?
Yeah,
Okay, I don't know why you're not moving on my screen.
I
Okay.
can see you.
Am I moving right now?
Yes, I totally see you very well, and I can hear you as well.
Okay, okay. So anyways, just to make sure. Um, I love what was the question again? What do I love about
That
Singapore? Sorry.
yeah, I just you live with. How do you live with that feeling of disconnection from your birthplace? Now you started to come more often, and has this distance changed the way you see your roots in general? Have
Mm,
you have you started missing your birthplace more? And what draws you to come here more often these days?
mm. I think Singapore, like what I said earlier, will always be my home, no matter what. You know, I was born there, and I will die there one day. You know, so that's how connected I feel with my hometown. But having said that, it's a very contradictory kind of feeling. Like every time I want to go back, I get excited. Oh, I'm going to eat this. I'm going to see my family, this and that. But when I'm back for too long, I get depressed. Yeah, probably because the environment that my family, they give me the very depressing kind of toxic kind of vibe. So then again, I can't change that. So it's just about
Of
accepting.
course. Well, yes, but you did change your life, so that's great. You realize that as much as you love and connect still to your family and to Singapore, you need to detach due to the different mentality perhaps and then different goals and different aspirations. So that's I feel healthy.
Yeah, I think that's very important because
Well,
if yeah, you need to accept certain things you can't change. So what you can do is you can change your perspectives and how you maneuver around that environment. Yeah.
very true. Absolutely. And on the matter of living at the moment, everyone has that one moment, the shift. Maybe it was for you, maybe it was at your exhibition, when it was a specific artist or celebrity you worked with. I'm not sure. But what was the moment that made you feel, I've arrived, I'm not invisible anymore? Can you share with us your going back in your story?
Um, to be honest, I don't think there's such a thing that I have arrived. You know, it is such a that would be like, you know, boosting my ego if I were to think like that. Um, I think I have my peaks in my career in Hong Kong. Um, and definitely the first one I think would be the Dior exhibition that I did. So I had a crossover exhibition with Dior, and it was a big hit. That was in 2008, if I'm not, yeah, 2008,
Mm-hmm.
and it was the number one event on Nelson Research, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So that was something that I'm pretty proud of, and that kind of made me very known in Hong Kong. Yeah.
No, and of course, and I believe more secure, and of course, the opportunities opened up. So that's wonderful. So, and I would like to continue to talk a little bit about your work and the process of it. You worked with some of the most recognizable faces in the world, but when it's just the two of you in the room, what do you look for first? How do you begin translating someone's essence into something visual as you do?
I think it goes back to my childhood because I grew up with a lot of pain. Um, and when I emphasize that, I do not have any intention of seeking, empathy or whatever. No, 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 no. I'm not here to do that. What I'm saying is that pain is a gift, to anyone out there going through pain, this is a gift from the universe to you. Because with this gift, I was able to be more vulnerable. And when you're vulnerable, you are able to feel. Feeling is the most fundamental part of living. You see, without the ability to feel, there is no life. So I'm such a feeling person, like in Singapore they always say feeling. You know, not emo, feeling. Let me correct. Emo means oversensitive. Okay, I was like that when I was younger, but now I'm very. I try to ground myself every time I tend to go that way. You know, but what I'm saying is that um, the ability to feel is a superpower. The ability to be vulnerable is also a superpower.
For sure.
But you use it in the right way, because it's a very thin line of being, like over feeling, oversensitive, and truly feeling. Like when I go to back to your question, when I go to a room or when I'm with a client, I just feel I literally just feel the pain, especially. If that person radiates a lot of pain, oh my God, it's going to hit me so bad. I'm so sensitive to pain for some strange reasons. But then again, looking back at my, background, I think it's because I've been through so much of it. I know how to detect it when I'm with someone with a heart.
But it's wonderful in a sense because you're incredibly intuitive and more almost ritualistic, even the way you talk and the way you share your experiences. So I think this is grounds you before the big styling session. Am I correct to say? Are there any practices you return to again and again when you do the session or the mega campaign? Based on your sensitivities and based on your character?
I think for me, like, are there any rituals? I'm not a religious person, um, but I do consider myself as someone who's very interested in the spiritual aspects of life.
Yeah.
Especially after turning 40, you get more and more inclined towards that. And then you start asking yourself questions like, what am I here for? What is my purpose? What am I here to do? What is my job here? My job is not my title per se. I used to associate that with my essence. And then I realized that is bullshit. Our job is just a job. It does not represent us. And the problem with, speaking from my own industry, observation that I see from my, peers, people get so attached to their titles, the labels that was given to them by industry or whatever it is. I think
Or
that's
through the
really very.
society or social media or anything like that, where you become the victim of it
I
all.
don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. Like there's definitely something more deeper than that.
For
It's
sure.
just labels. We shouldn't subscribe to labels.
100%. And then, and I hear you, and you feel, you have pain, and you feel people's energy, which is fantastic. And, this kind of a sensitivity is actually very rare. But I imagine, and I know for fact from my own life and experience, it would be very heady. And it comes for you, it comes from childhood. From me, it comes from childhood and journey and experiences as well. I want to ask you, how do you protect yourself when you give this also your exposure at the same time? For example, for me, whenever I do my events or whenever I come out on an open space with a lot of people surrounding me, I imaginary put myself in the violet light. Somehow I feel more protected. What, how do you manage with this feeling?
How do I protect myself?
Emotionally, yes.
Mm, I think I protect myself by being myself. Yeah, and because I've been doing this for a long time, and because I'm so sensitive to energy, to frequencies, to
Yeah.
vibrations that people give out. So anytime I sense that this person wants something extra or something, that is not related to work, then I would just, yeah, I would stop talking to the person. I mean, yeah, you know what I mean. Just, just take a
Yeah.
step back and
And
minimize your
that's
person. Yeah.
It's very true. And that's actually when we spoke with you, you actually said to me that being vulnerable is my superpower. This is a quote from you. And and it stayed with me. Just like you, I'm also a very, very sensitive and vulnerable person. And lately I have decided not to really hide this much as I was hiding before. I'm a very, very also straightforward and very authentic person, and I feel that I want to surround myself with similar people. And I don't appreciate fake. I cannot tolerate fake, just like you, as much as even I was trying to do before. So when did you stop actually hiding your pain and start using it to your creative work instead?
Wow, that's a very good question. I can't remember when. Um, but usually when I'm in the process of creating, I like to be alone. The strange thing is, I get extremely creative when I'm on the plane. I
You
don't
when
know
you're on a
why.
plane.
Every time I'm on the plane, oh my God, it's like all the ideas are like shooting at me, and then I start writing and sketching, and that's when I get really creative. And yeah, I'm a night person, so every time at night, all my ideas will come up. And when did I start to let my guts down? Is that what you mean?
But
Mm,
I think it's so probably just intuitively expressed. Your pain is
yeah, I
expressed through your
think
art, through your creativity, and this is what
it's
I feel.
about getting into the character. Okay, it's like acting. So if I have a job and this project is about this and that, I first need to imagine myself in that sphere,
Immersed.
and then I, I would just it's just like getting into a trance, and then you just go inside. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I do it, I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
it's authentic, it's natural, and it's real. So you really feel it. So everything goes through your feeling, which is wonderful. And
Everything
that's sorry.
everything is based on feeling. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, as you said before. And when we spoke, you shared with me that actually you having a tremendous shift in your career and your thought, perhaps, and your moving forward projects. And just to emphasize, you've styled Oscar winners, you've done magazine covers and global campaigns, and now you are changing gear a little. A lot of people actually crave to go the other direction. They start to be from something very, very humble, and they go up and they move into the higher circles and something unreachable to some. But you defining the new chapter in a completely different way. I would love for you to share with our viewers and our listeners as we spoke at length about this authentically giving back, being real, and realizing the greatness actually comes from everyone around us. And it's just simply kindness, giving, and authenticity, and catering or caring, I should say, about people around us. So I'm very, very touched by this transformation for you from within, and I would love you to share it with all of us.
Um, I've been I've been working with celebrities since God knows how long ago, like uh, 20 or no 30 years, maybe around 30 years. Um, I'm sick of it, to be honest. Yeah, because I'm sick of it because of several reasons. Um, First and foremost, it's very fake, you know. Secondly, um, I am not able to. It's like entertainment for the public. You know, I have all these gifts, but I'm not able to share it. I'm not able to share it with the mass, you know, for them to experience it. So I'm trying to work on some new projects that I can share my gifts, my ideas of beauty, how I transform, you know, my celebrity clients, my private clients, and share with the mass. So I'm working on that right now.
Yes, and that's great. And you know, and I've even shared with you when we spoke, when you were sitting here, that I know I have the same dream, you know, and I always gravitate to the film that is one of my favorite films, Babette's Feast, and this is exactly what it's all about. When the gift is shared with people around you,
Yeah.
who will appreciate it genuinely and who will be inspired by something that they've never seen in their lives, who are not entitled, who are really honest, deserving people. And this is, and that's why your projects and your dreams that you were sharing with me really, really touched me very much and gravitated to my own notions. So thank you for that. And of course, I'm looking forward to learn and hear more,
I'll
and
share
maybe
more.
work together one day too, as we spoke. Moving on this note, I would like to touch a little bit, going back a little bit about to your identity and to past and to the healing. You've shared that your mother never quite understood you, or your world, I should say. So I
Uh,
think many of us carry this quiet ache inside us of being seen
I'm,
but not fully understood by the family.
I'm kind of used to it, to be honest, because she lives in a different, you know, era. So I don't expect her to understand, you know, totally. Um, it's just that every time I do a project, she's like, make sure you collect your money. Make sure you collect your money. She will always tell me things like that.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it's an
yeah.
instinct from this world. So is there anything you still feel that you need to prove anything still to your mother or to your family,
No,
or you
no, I
healed yourself from it?
stopped feeling that. I stopped feeling that simply because I am here to live my own life.
Yeah,
I'm not here to live a life that is being, you know, imposed onto me.
yeah.
I'm here to live my own life the way I want it to be. So whatever I do it for me. I don't do it for anyone.
That's wonderful. It's super healthy, and kudos to you.
Thank
And
you.
in talking about where you live and what you do, you lived in Hong Kong for a long time, and you worked around the world, and now you're based in Shanghai. That's a lot of movement. What keeps you anchored across all these shifts, and where do you feel most yourself?
I feel like myself anywhere I go. I don't think it's a matter of where, you know, I'm stationed or whatever. It doesn't matter. Um, I'm actually quite introvert. A lot of people don't feel that way. People don't know me is that, oh, you must be extrovert. You're very social. I am so not. I'm actually very shy.
You're
But when I'm working,
extroverted introvert. How about that?
yeah, exactly.
Yes,
That's
yes. Um,
describe it. So yeah, when I'm working, I'm just a different person. But when I'm not working, I spend like 80% of my time at home. Yeah.
And
I'm
what
quite.
that's on this matter, how do you spend your free time? And what grounds you when you're not working?
Oh my god, I am such a podcast
I
addict.
I
Like
am.
addict. Okay, I do my podcast daily. Okay, sometimes I can go non-stop for a few hours. I'm
Well, that's
that
good. There's a lot of out there.
super super obsessed, and yeah, I can go on and on with podcasts because there's something about podcasts when you're soaking yourself in that environment. It's like positivity coming out from the speaker and surrounding and filling up the space. That's what I always feel when I'm indulging
Yeah.
in my podcast.
So I will ask you later on to send me some of your favorite podcasts if you don't mind. I would
I
love to be immersed as well. But on this subject, it is a social media after all, and it's impossible to avoid social media in the work that you and me do, and for so many people. How do you manage curating your personal stories versus keeping things private?
hmm,
It's
I
not
think
easy.
during this year I made a post. In that post, I said something like, I want to share more personal things because when I look at all the social media these days on celebrities and personalities, everything is so fake. It is fucking fake. Everything is curated, edited. It's not authentic at all.
Yes.
You know. So I want to post more personal stuff, but the thing about humans, humans love looking at like very stylized, very glamour, the kind of celebrity stuff. But that to me is will get attention, you know, but it's not real to me.
Yes.
So
I
I
completely
love
agree.
like real content creators. They speak their mind, they speak whatever they think and they feel. That's something that I
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
I I totally relate to it, and I really suffer from looking sometimes at social media and just being sucked into this superficial and artificial world with the same filters and people looking alike. All these different people that look alike and they say the same thing. So I know what you mean. But on this matter, what do you treasure most in your real friends?
I don't really have a lot of friends, to be honest. Like I only have a few quality
But
ones.
that's
And
what's the most important.
yeah, because I realized that when you pass a certain age, you just want to connect on a soul level, and that connection is
Yes.
stronger and more intense than any other connection. It's like you don't even need to speak; you can understand each other, and that is the kind of connection that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very authentic, and this is what's the most important. And the older we become, the more important it is for us just to surround ourselves with like-minded people and to have a very small circle of but truly authentic people. It's absolutely normal, and it's to me it's called maturity to for sure. Moving a little bit back into the style and the perhaps and the world that you are in. What's your personal style, and how much of the influences your style of each client you work with? What do you influence them, or they influence you?
What influences me, is it? Is
I'm
that what
talking
you're
about
saying?
the style, about your personal style.
I don't like to do boring stuff. So I always tell my clients, like, if you want the boring stuff, please don't look for me. Like, I mean, there's no point doing what everyone else is doing. So I like to create surprises. I like to show my clients their hidden possibilities. Yeah, I believe everyone has a lot of hidden possibilities embedded, layers and layers within them. So my job is there to
Oh,
unravel
bravo.
and peel each label, each layer, and to surprise them that hey, you can also look like this, but you can also look like that. I like extreme stuff. Yeah.
So for me personally, and you know me, that I'm very, very classic person, what would be something that you would pick up on and completely sort of break my universe of being so, I don't want to say predictable, but so classic in the way I look, at the way I present myself, and the way I dress. Is there anything that you would want to
You,
change in me?
um,
Don't be
oh
shy.
yeah,
I'll
I,
accept it.
I would make you into like a very sexy, um, provocative, bold. Bold. I think bold is the word. Yeah, I'm doing
Really?
something.
Okay.
Not. I'm not gonna do something classic because this is what you do on a daily basis.
Exactly.
I don't. I would rather do the opposite of.
Well, thank you for that. Well, next time when I'll see you, maybe I'll do the red lipstick, which to me is like probably the most, I don't know, sexy or something totally not me perhaps and taking me out of the comfort zone. But I'll try this, keeping you in mind. How about that?
Okay,
Ah,
let's do that.
okay. Well, there are a lot of people watching us, and I can see people who joined us, and there's a whole generation of young stylists and artists who see themselves in your story, I'm sure. What would you say to someone who doesn't feel like they belong in the rooms they dream of entering? What would be your advice to them?
I think first and foremost, all these youngsters they need to understand that this is not a very glamorous thing to begin with.
Yeah,
There's a lot of work. There's a lot of perseverance. You know, I think without that, I wouldn't be, you know, talking to you today like this, because people only see the glamour part of my job, you know, or my lifestyle, whatever that is, you know. But I've fought so hard for it, you know. I worked so hard for it,
yes,
and as a non Hong Konger living in Hong Kong, working in Hong Kong for almost 18 years, it's not easy. It is really not easy. Um, I mean, coming from Singapore, the culture in Singapore and the culture in Hong Kong is totally different. So that is something that I had to constantly, I had to fight for my dreams, you know. So to the youngsters out there, um, you need to know what is your intention. Everything in life is driven by intention. What is your intention of being a stylist or makeup artist or hairstylist, whatever? You know, your intention is to be famous and to look glamorous, or the whole intent of being in this industry is because you love what you do. These are all different
yeah,
paths. Yeah. So I think the first thing is you need to know what you want. If you don't know what you want, please try, but do not go in for the wrong
yeah,
intention. Yeah, go
very true.
try to experiment. Okay, just like having an appetizer, you go and try. If you don't like it, then don't eat it. Then you can leave. You
Absolutely.
know, go in because you want to be famous. Don't go in because you want to be
Yeah.
You don't have a glamorous lifestyle.
The wrong reason.
This is not gonna.
Wrong
Yeah.
reason. I completely agree with you because sometimes people come to me and they say, "Oh my God, we would love to do what you do. We would love, you live such a glamorous life." But actually, I'm not, just like you. It's a hard work sometimes 24/7, not very gratifying in a sense of hours and the hustle and bustle that we have to embrace and deal with. But the final dream that you create for someone else, and that's why you create it for yourself as well, is what's important and what's meaningful. And it's nothing to do, as you said, with being next to the celebrity whom you have to work with. It all comes from within. It all comes from passion, and this is what you have, and it's wonderful. And you lived so many lives across countries, careers, and reinventions. But I imagine you're still dreaming, and I know you're still dreaming. So what's next for you, Alvin? Not just professionally, but personally. What are you longing for in the next chapter? You can reveal as little or as much as you want. It's totally up to you. I don't want to impose.
Um, Next for me, I think it would be something to do with purpose. I want to have a more purposeful job. Yeah. Like I feel that right now my job is just for the privilege, it's for the famous, it's for the wealthy, but it's not really purposeful to me anymore. So I am diverting myself towards a more purposeful um, job. Yeah.
Well,
Just
that's that's very admirable. That's all what I can say. Not that many people are willing or able, emotionally, mentally, financially, uh, think in the direction that you do. As I mentioned before, it usually comes the other way around. So kudos to you, really. It's wonderful. And before we go to our closing question, is there anything else that you would like to share with our viewers?
mm, just have fun. Life is short. Seriously, just have fun. Don't think too much. Don't take life too seriously. If someone hurts you, fuck them and just move on. Seriously, because life is short.
Yes,
And
lighten
people
up.
care
Yes.
about you even after you die. So what's the point of pleasing people? Please yourself first.
Very good advice and very profound and so true. And then I would like to, as I started this little tradition, as I told in the beginning, that sort of like a bit of a closing question or remark. Finally, what's your question for my next guest? You
Mm.
can ask anything, and you obviously don't know who my next guest is.
Yeah, I don't even know who's your next guest. Let me ask something very based on me, okay? Um, um, how does the pain help you in your life? Yeah.
Okay. Will remember that, and I will make sure that I will inform you, and you look, you're following me in any case. You will know about my next episode, and make sure you'll hear the reply on that. With that, we come to an end of our wonderful, very sincere and very warm conversation, very open, and I'm so grateful for that. And thank you so much for sharing your journey from growing up in Bidok to styling Oscar winners, from rejection and reinvention to building a career that touches lives across the globe more and more. You reminded us that the beauty is not a perfection, but it's a presence. It's not about fitting in, but it's about shining in your own way. And when the world tries to dim your light, and you've
Don't,
had your
don't
light
ever
dimmed.
fit in. Don't ever fit in. Never, never fit in. If
Yes,
you you create your own boxes to tick, not the other way
that,
around. Yeah.
that's true. That's true. But that's what, and you, through your work, Alvin, you've helped people to be seen. And in today's world, that may be probably the greatest gift, uh, and unselfish gift. So I'm grateful to your honesty, to your vulnerability, to your unwavering belief and transformation, not just for appearances, but for its spirit. It's really, really very, very wonderful. And your story is powerful reminder that creative success doesn't really happen in spite of our struggles, but often it's because of our struggles. And this is what something that you experience, what I experienced, so and so as many others. Just for all of you, our wonderful listeners and viewers, this conversation will be posted on my IG at Events by Olga, as well as on my YouTube channel, and also watch the episodes. There's more to come. I am also putting all the episodes on Spotify. I'm taking my time to do it because it takes a while to load all of them, but they are going to be there and they're already there. So watch for it, and please connect with me, connect with Alvin, and stay in touch. And Alvin, thank you so much for your time and for
Thank
sharing
you
with
so
us your journey.
much.
And I hope to see you very soon.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.